Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast. We are live, and we are... Where are we? What do you want to call this place?
My house is called Splendid Isolation. I live alone.
I thought you were just going to call it Splendor for a second there. It's like the house that isn't sugar.
Splendid Isolation. It's named after a Warren Zevon song.
There we go. Okay. All right. Splendid Isolation is where we are tonight. This is episode 29 of The Simpsons Index. Hello, I'm your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. And joining me in this, the Splendid Isolation is...
I'm Phil Calloway.
And...
Hello, my name is number one.
And so forth.
And so forth. That's all they get in the Stonecutters episode. What do you want? I'm running out.
Yes, you are.
Yep, Phil and BT joining me here tonight. And yeah, this is the Simpsons Index, where we watch 3 episodes of The Simpsons at a time and review them. The 3 episodes must come from different decades. So starting out right now, we just watched a season 27 episode, episode 6, Friend with Benefit, aka the one where Homer does a GoFundMe to get a stand and sit chair and Lisa makes a new friend and that trails off into other bullshit.
Gives them stuff. Yeah,
guys, what'd you think?
It's all right.
Yeah,
it exists.
I liked it.
Yeah,
yeah, I had a good time. It was like, I think the first new era, I don't know why I'm quotating Mike's that.
It's hard.
One of the newer ones that I actually enjoyed watching.
All right, cool. And yourself, Paige?
It was fine. It passed the time.
Ouch.
Yeah. I didn't dislike it. It's just okay.
Pass the time.
Yeah. It's another event between here and the grave.
Yeah, it was... I got mixed feelings on this one. So, anyway, starting out with the episode, it starts out with a parody of the feast, which was... I think it was before Inside Out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
something.
I was thinking that.
Yeah, that confused the shit out of me.
Yeah, if you don't know that's a parody of that, then you would have no idea what's going on.
I had no idea what's going on. I said to Elliot when we were watching, I'm like, is this the show? And Elliot's like, oh, it's like a short film thing. And I thought it was like a station ID where... the dog come along and go, oh, we love Fox. And then they go to, the sound. We're like, okay, now the episode's starting. But then I looked over and both of you were taking notes. I'm like, oh, shit, it's actually started. I felt like a Pink Floyd song.
Yeah, they sort of did this in lieu of the chalkboard.
The usual introduction.
Yeah, and the couch gag, I didn't like this thing because... like, they had the animation all right, and the parody and whatever of just, Santa's little helper getting fat and stuff. But then... okay, so it does that. It's just him in the Simpsons house catching the food, and then he's at the retirement home once he becomes obese for some reason.
That's where you put fat dogs, is the retirement home.
Yeah,
and
then
he didn't look old as a cartoon dog does.
And
then he dies, and then they give him the choice of going to Fit Dog Heaven or Fat Dog Hell, and that's where it ends.
Fat Dog Hell has free pizza. I mean, come on.
But also, aren't you fat already? Like,
is that already? Choose. Aren't you there because, hey, you're fat, you're going to hell, apparently. All dogs go to heaven, except the fat ones, kids.
Yeah.
Imagine a hell full of fat puppies.
That sounds actually kind of adorable.
Yeah, I'd say
just pat everything.
Who's a chubby little hell puppy?
Also, my only note for this was boring.
Yeah,
that's
it was nothing. It was nothing. No jokes, no gags. Just watching the dog eat stuff off the floor for a minute.
Yeah. And as a parody of the Pixar short, it doesn't even follow the same plot. So why are we watching? It's dumb and it's filler. That's all it is.
Yeah, it really is.
Like a lot of the latter era stuff, you see either very long intros or these little segments that cut in out of nowhere, and they're just they're there to fill time because they couldn't make a full episode.
Put your intro in that takes up 45 seconds.
That's the other weird thing is they've got a long credit, like during the credit sequence, like put that in. That was at least got a joke in the end. It wasn't an amazing joke, but it was a joke.
I laughed at it.
Yeah, that's fine. And it's like, why not have that instead of...
put that in the episode and make your episode 30 seconds longer.
Yeah. I mean, it would do it just fine. So,
well, to me, that's sort of what the whole Homer getting the, what was it, seat to feet chair, that whole storyline.
The Smokey Dawson chair.
The what?
The Smokey Dawson chair.
Who's Smokey Dawson?
It's like an Australian country singer who used to promote his own version of self-lifting chairs.
Oh, really?
Well, there you go.
I believe so. Or I'm remembering some bullshit that someone told me 20 years ago. Either way, history.
And yeah, so the episode also kicking off with that like feast thing, and then going straight to Homer gorging himself while Santa's little helper was thin again.
Felt
It
like a
didn't
thread,
feel right.
but I didn't. Yeah, it felt like that was supposed to. I think it was just a coincidental thread.
And he shovels some pills in his mouth called statins. Do you guys know what that is?
No, I wrote that in as well. I'm like, maybe it's a cholesterol pill? It seems like an American pharmaceutical thing.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
According to
surprising
Google
stretch.
Index, it's a class of lipid-lowering medications.
Lowers your hunger, I'm guessing.
Found to reduce cardiovascular disease.
Or it makes your cardiovascular disease better.
And
Whatever.
removes all your lipid.
Well, we had to look that up. So,
You're learning.
yep. I'm used to looking things up, watching like Frasier or something like that, but I expect to know what the Simpsons are talking about.
Yeah. But yeah, so he sees the ad for the Smokey Dawson chair, and he comments, oh, 1100, I liked that wording.
Yeah, and I do actually quite like this gets straight to the point. Like, once we get into the episode proper, home watching TV, as he always does, see something he wants, that's the kickoff for your episode. It gets straight to the point.
Doesn't need anything more.
And it also kicks off the B plot pretty quick as well, where the school is having its, club joining day.
Yep.
Things I don't actually know exist apart from movies.
Yeah, American shows have shown me that enough that I'm sure this is a thing. I don't know what to call it because I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Club fair.
But, I mean, the only weird part is, for some reason, Lisa is running the magic club, and it's like, of all clubs Lisa would be in, why not jazz?
There is a little continuity there where in the episode from, I think it's season 22, The Great Simpsina, where she does become really good at magic.
Oh, there you go.
And I think it's only that time, but it may have come up a couple of other times, I'm not sure.
Also, there was a good sign gag in there, in amongst the clubs. There was one that was for medicine called Club Med.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
like
That made me smile.
And there's a good bit with Ralph's Hug Club. He's just, hug
Yeah.
me!
The Hug Club was awesome.
Yeah, and then they stick the warning, do
caution.
not hug, yeah.
And he still says, hug me.
And yeah, so she meets Harper, who is already excellent at magic too, and yeah, it feels weird that Lisa would offer her to be president of it. Like,
No, that was meant to be a gag of, you can be president, all you have to do is watch this booth while I go pee. It's like, she just needed to pee.
yeah,
Oh, they really paced that out badly.
Yeah,
'cause
no,
it was
it was
really, you can
very
be president.
poorly. Like, it felt like
Also-
at first it was, you can be president because that's how desperate I am for a friend.
Yeah.
But then she had the bathroom break, and I was like,
I thought it was you can be president because you are obviously better than magic than I am because
Yeah.
I can cut a banana while it's in the skin and she made, I can't remember. Oh, no. What did she do? Something with
made
rings and a
52
dove.
of her business cards appear out of nowhere.
Yep.
Classic magician.
Yeah, I don't like how they rounded off that gag with Willie turning on the sprinklers. Like, that felt really dumb to me.
Yeah, it's like, you can just transition for a scene. You don't need to ruin the fair bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
It's fine.
50-50 on that. I'm grateful that they didn't spend time finishing that whole thought and getting out and doing something proper.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't spend any time setting it up. There wasn't 3 minutes worth of, well, guys, tomorrow is the join a club fair. We hope you've got your booths made. And then Lisa going, I've worked so hard on this booth. And
Yeah, and then
like that could have been a 15-minute death trap of time for
Yeah.
Yep. But no, but like I said, it gets to the point on both A and B plots, and yeah.
But yeah, so it goes back to the sorry. Is it the A plot at this point? Like,
I mean,
because it sort of feels weird.
We were introduced to it first. I'm calling it A.
Yeah.
Yeah, chair is A. Well,
Well, they merged.
Well, because that's
they
it.
merged
Like,
pretty
the
quickly.
B plot is way more important, but the A plot does happen first, and it does take up the majority of the first act. Like, you don't even really go back to Harper and Lisa during that first act either. Like, there is a small snippet of Lisa having a Skype conversation with her, and she's doing the rings trick, and that's sort of all they return to with the Harper story in the first act.
yeah.
No, for now, it's all about the chair that helps Homer stand up without him having to stand up.
Yeah, and so what do you think about the whole crowdfunding angle? Like,
I
the
think-
new panhandling.
Yeah, I think it accurately depicted what most people think about it. Like, I'm fucking sick of people trying to get me to crowdfund stuff. Not even me personally, just notes on Facebook and Twitter and people going, I've got this GoFundMe thing. It's like, what are you doing? I really want to buy a designer pair of shoes. You're like, fuck off, buy them yourself.
Why would I ever do that?
Yeah, so I think all their jokes were pretty on the mark. And I do like how Lenny goes, why don't you do what everyone does these days? And by these days, I mean at least 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's kind of moved on from that now. Yeah, but it's a good example of, the things like the potato salad that got $10,000 worth of funding. Or,
Yeah.
what was it? Cards Against Humanity got $80,000 to dig a hole.
What?
Yeah, no, they did
What?
I was meant to be in protest of something. I can't remember what. And it was like, yeah,
Holes.
give us money and we'll dig a hole in the ground. And they did. And they got $80,000.
Did they dig the hole?
They did.
Okay.
I don't know if it was $80,000 worth of hole. I don't know what that looks like. But
It'd be a pretty schmick home.
you would imagine, yeah.
You'd have
But,
stairs at least.
No, it's like, yep, that's crowdfunding. Potato salad, statues of RoboCop, and holes in the ground.
I think a lot of crowdfunding is just what high people will click yes to.
Yeah.
Or what people go, ha, that's so internet, click.
Mm.
You know.
The dangers of spending $1, people. Don't.
And yeah, unfortunately undercuts the people who are like, I need a new wheelchair, or,
Yeah, doing something important or useful or entertaining.
yeah, I've got a baby with a disease.
I will say, it's not crowdfunding because now everything's Patreon, but I've, what's the word, subscribed my first Patreon, Sounds Radio. I like their work.
Oh, cool.
You patroned it?
I patroned it. I'm a Patreon of theirs now.
You are patronizing?
Yes, I am patronizing.
Oh,
them.
wait, no, you're the thing being patronized.
I don't even
They're patronizing you!
I don't know how the words work.
So Homer's crowdfunding video has Lisa come in and he's like, Lisa, quick, say please give now. And Lisa's like,
Yeah.
please give now. And he's like, excellent. And she's like, what was that for? He's like, oh, never mind, we'll take this out in post. And then you see
cuts
people
to-
watching that on the TV and they're like, he didn't even have enough money to take that out in post.
Yeah, that
and
was a great
working in
frosty
post,
line.
that made me laugh.
I didn't like the Van Houten's bit though, like when they reacted, and then it was all about Kirk having another bank account and another phone. I don't know, it felt dumb.
Also, this is season 20, did you say?
27.
27. Milhouse's dad knows who Homer is. He's not some guy. It's like, I know this man. I've known him for a long time. Our sons have been best friends somehow in the 4th grade for 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, even Lenny goes, oh, I go to work with him. That's Homer something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seemed like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
that
It makes
feels
sense.
like a Homer line coming out of Lenny.
Yeah.
You know, when he's like, Carl wants his autograph, and he goes, "Oh, there you go. What is your name? This is mine. Take it or leave it, Carl."
Yeah. But Lenny did have a good line in this, which was season 3 of Anything's the best.
And as we've recently discussed, one line Lenny is where he sits at his best. When he gets just one bit, and it's funny.
Just imagine the dollars per word that the guy writing Lenny's lines getting. That guy's a rich guy.
Beautiful. Also, like when they're talking about crowdfunding, they say Zach Braff's generation-defining dud. Wish I was here, because there was a lot of controversy about that. Apparently, he had more than enough money to fund it himself. It was already bankrolled by a studio. He still
Really?
He still asked for crowdfunding, and apparently it sucked anyway. So I know Screen Junkies started their own Kickstarter to do an anti-Zach Braff campaign ad.
But also, if you're asking people to give you money and they do, it's their fault for being dickheads and
Yeah, for
giving you
not
money.
researching it or going,
I was
this,
like,
this has been funded 17 times over already. I'm going to fund them anyway. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's like,
they've
I
got
believe
it.
something that someone told me on the internet for free about giving them money. It's like,
Yep.
that's all the alarm bells run away.
there's a great line, which is April Fool's Day is the only day anyone double checks facts on the internet. It's like, that is great because no one ever does. The number of times you see, just if you spent 30 seconds Googling, you'd know that's wrong.
And even I got suckered in last April Fool's. Fucking James Squire posted this ad saying, we're bringing out a new kale ale, a beer with kale spinach. And Beach, working in the liquor industry, messaged him right away. And I go, what the fuck is this? Showed him the picture and
So, dude, what day is it?
fucking April motherfucking 1st.
It's the 20th of February.
Yeah.
30 seconds. Anyway, but that little bit. So naturally, Homer's crowdfunding lets him get the chair, and then of course an angry mob shows up because this is Springfield and they're synonymous with angry mobs.
Yep.
During which they basically attack his chair and burn it.
Well, no, they don't burn the chair. They burn Abe.
Yeah, for a while, Grandpa's like, wait a second, this isn't the chair, and it's just Grandpa. It's like, how did that happen exactly?
Yeah, and he doesn't even have a quip or a line. And he's
But
like,
he does say no refund or no tip or something as he gets hauled into the ambulance. But it was...
oh, right.
It did seem like maybe there's a caveat that says Grandpa must appear in 1 in every 5 episodes. They're like, right.
Well, yeah, even Bart, it felt like both of his lines were pretty token. Like, hey, I'm Bart and I'm here. Although the second one was really good. What was that? The
Suckers?
condescending. She's being condescending. Oh, she was condescending you a free bike.
Yeah. I know.
I think that was
That
quite
was
good.
very good.
I enjoy a little bit of wordplay.
But yeah, the other one was just like, oh, we're not going anymore? Hi, caramba.
Pretty much.
The last thing on the chair, the whole exercise TV gag, where it does like the TV here doing squats or something, and then it's
down.
a real close shot on Homer going up and down. And I didn't like that bit, but when it did the wide shot where it showed... I hope your core is burning, and it goes, it is, and it's a wide shot, and that shows him with soup on his gut.
Yeah.
Like, I liked that, and then they added to the joke as well by having the whole armrest lifter. Yeah.
That was pretty good. That was pretty staple. You could see that the first joke coming for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know he's not doing setups. He's in a depressed state after having his chair destroyed. Basically, I never get to have nice things. It seems fair enough. He's lived a long and ridiculous life that always ends in going back to normal.
Yeah.
So, and then Lisa's friend's dad, Harper's dad, I need to just cut that down, is like, hey, do you want tickets to this boy band? You have platinum wristbands. And then Homer has the moment of elevating. So he goes through the silver and then goes up to gold and then platinum with stripes.
Yep. And yeah, there were some okay gags going through there, like the Bumblebee and Sideshow Mel talking to each other, and the Dredrick Tatum and the Renier Wolfcast gags. I didn't mind them. They weren't great. But
But they were...
They're a bit phoned in. They're like exactly what you expect from walking past people behind them. They're in the foreground saying a line as you walk through the exclusive part of the club.
Yeah, it wasn't like as special to their characters either. It was
it's just stuff.
Yeah, Renier Wolfcastle making a Mel Gibson reference, and
yes,
yeah, and so they meet the boy band, Doe-Eyed Boys, I think they were called.
Yep.
With, I love the names, Boz, Bindi, Macquarie, and Wodonga.
Yeah.
Like,
they definitely did their research on the names for Australians.
Yeah,
they're
an Australian boy band.
One of the storyboard artists or something is from Brisbane, actually. Matt Schofield, I think his name is.
All right.
Yeah, so they probably just hit him up one day. Hey, give us some Australian things.
Wodonga.
Yeah, you got Macquarie, Wodonga.
Yeah, that was good. I was like, well, I'm impressed. They've obviously done some work on this one as opposed to the Australian episode.
Yeah, I was about to say, as opposed to the episode where they're in Australia, which has nothing to do with anything.
Also, I do love the bit, I think it was when they're deciding to go to this boy band, and Homer's like, Australian boy bands. And Marge goes, it makes me think about how I used to like watching, I can't remember what it was, some Australian reference. And Homer's
Crocodile
like,
Dundee.
Yeah, I will never forgive you for making me watch Crocodile Dundee 3. And I'm like, ooh.
Yeah,
that's
that was
as
the
topical
Lost
as
in
you
LA
get.
one as well. That was terrible.
Yes, it was.
I've only ever heard legends.
They're not legends.
They're not.
They're horror stories.
So yeah, they get to go into the platinum with stripes skybox thing, which allows them to like control and go into the stage and stuff like that, and it's the seats behind this. It's really weird, but kind of funny at times, but mostly.
I was like, there's a nice little callback reference, which is in the background. They're playing a music video which has Niva Netniage written on it.
Oh, yeah.
Which then flips to join the Navy. It's like, you didn't have to flip that. I already got it.
Yeah.
I did not get that. I was trying to figure out what the fuck that thing said.
Okay. Eva Netniage. When Bart and Milhouse, Ralph and Nelson are in a boy band.
I'm feeling a bit scared now, guys.
Join us.
I'll try to remember that, and I'll bring it to you for the next time we have you on the index.
Yeah, but in the end, it turns out they're working for the Navy, sending subliminal messages to children by singing Niva Netniage, which is join the Navy backwards.
And yeah, so Homer and What's-His-Face go wander off, and then he does the whole toasting, and then the whole crazy head smashing bit starts. This is when I am just flat out annoyed by Harper's dad.
Yeah, when he's like, when I'm happy, I headbutt things. When I'm sad, I buy a hockey team.
Yeah.
I like the hockey team gag.
But it was just the headbutting. Was like, is this going to go into like how he's really depressed or something? And it just kind of like, no, he just headbutts things when he's happy.
And it had enough pause between him saying a thing and then doing it and then saying something else. You'd be like, I headbutt things when I'm happy. Headbutt. See? I was like, in my brain, there's like, that's enough time for me to like go, oh, you're actually super depressed and this is a terrible thing that you know you're doing, but it's the only thing you're doing for whatever reason.
Yeah, that's
but it
where I
turns
thought
out
it was going. Like, nope.
He just gets happy and headbutts walls. And then Homer headbutt the wall.
Yeah.
The wall destroys Homer. We've seen Homer headbutt a million things.
Exactly.
We know
He would have
has,
been up there with the headbutting best.
Yeah, from the boxing episode, we know he has Homer Simpson syndrome, which is like having a football helmet inside his skull.
Yep. Absolutely, and then, but there was the good line after that of, haha, so you proved the doctor wrong that said you wouldn't live. He could still die.
Yeah, get up. Yeah.
So this is another problem I have with the episode. They cut to a scene of Homer and Lisa in the car where Lisa just announces she's starting to get annoyed by Harper, and we hadn't had any interaction with them, good or bad, for a long time in this episode.
Yeah,
and
it felt like it was re-emerging that other plot, but
yeah, and so Homer tells Lisa in this point to just suck it up and enjoy it because she's going to give you all the things that I can't because she's rich.
But, well, yeah, the trouble with that is because Lisa's like, well, you know, we were all chatty, but when the concert started, she wouldn't let me get a word in edgeways. Like, yeah, she's watching a concert. Shut up. Yeah. Like, if you had the context of her trying to say thanks so much or something, that Harper, like, I don't know, doing a rich person shut up by putting a fishbowl on her head or something, then sure, that would make a little more. But it was just like, it's like, well, we don't really.
I was going to say finger to the lips, but way to up it with a bit of comedy there. Yeah. That she's just got the skybox fishbowl and just dumps it on her head.
Yeah, something like that. It's just because the way Lisa says it, it sounds like, yeah, shut up.
But
yeah. You tried to speak in a moment where you shouldn't have spoken, and someone was annoyed at you.
Makes sense.
But yeah, it just instead has Lisa just announcing the plot. And which is a super annoying when the next scene is this David Copperfield concert. Again, way to be current Simpsons writers. I guess his voice acting is cheap these days. Take that. Anyway, and she is an arsehole and pushes Lisa to the side. And I'm like, okay, then there was no reason for that car scene to exist, because then after that, you could just go straight to the breakfast thing where they
do the same thing, where it basically says, you know, they've invited us to the island, but Lisa's getting tired of her, and they're like, just shut up, we want to go to the island. Yeah, it gets the same point twice, and there's no... Yeah, either flesh out the first part so we know it's escalating, or cut that whole first part entirely. But also there was the good line where they get invited to the island, and Marge is like, but the kids have school. And they're like, so what? Lisa's not going to fall behind, and Bart's not going to catch up.
Yeah. And when Marge does convince Homer no, when he sends the string of emojis, and then there's an emoji...
I didn't get that as a pun. Nice.
No, I didn't get that as a pun either. It was a emoji of a beer, an at symbol, and then an emoji of Mo.
Yeah.
And now that I say it out loud,
emoji,
that makes sense.
Right.
But I didn't think that at the time because I was going, why is Mo got an emoji?
Yeah.
But I like
for the pun. And so, at this point, this is when Harper again is a jerk, tries to give her a bike, and as Lisa said, she's really condescending about it. And what do you guys think of that scene?
Nah. You know what? All I wrote down was Lisa takes the high ground again.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, even if, like, really, you could go, well, I find this condescending, but I am getting a brand new bike to replace the one that Homer built me that pedals backwards.
Yeah.
And my whole family wants to go on this Caribbean cruise for free with this rich family.
Yeah.
The selfless thing to do would be take your free bike and go on the holiday. Don't stand up for your misguided morals and ruin everyone's day.
Not only that, but we could have gone a different storyline for Lisa, who starts taking the presents and then later on has a crisis of conscience and says, I'm really sorry, I've been kind of taking advantage of you, I've just been taking your gifts, and then have Harper go, yeah, I know, you're just the stooge I have with me, so I have a friend, you get stuff, and I get someone to look at me like I'm great.
Yeah.
And then she can have the moral outrage of, I've tried to be a good person, but you're actually just using me, and I'm like the way I'm using you. So they having that realization that you don't need that kind of friendship. That would be a different path we've not seen Lisa take, and I would have enjoyed it a hell of a lot more.
It would have been better character building rather than the closing out with a real trite Milhouse gag.
Although they clearly showed where if you were on the seat and on the seat of the bicycle, it had an alarm system where if you got on and you were not Lisa Simpson, it would say, you're not Lisa Simpson, and then Chief Wiggum would literally turn up in a second and go, this is what we come out for. I was fully expecting Milhouse to get on the bike and then Chief Wiggum to just run up and like kung fu kick him off because we'd just seen that setup. Otherwise, it's like...
That's the obvious joke.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they just went with the Milhouse walking a bike gets too fast walking a bike and has to slow down.
Wow, that is, so the better move there.
Yeah. Come on, Simpsons. You're not doing the obvious things and you are doing the unobvious things.
All right, so getting into Act 3, that's when...
I was like, just before that, there's a bit where Bart's sitting in a Hawaiian shirt. It changes colour between scenes.
Oh, really?
It's red when Lisa walks in and then it changes to blue.
Oh, you are fired, online department.
I know.
That's actually on Matt Schofield. That's
we are supposed to say, well, clearly in this scene, you see Bart's shirt change colour. What are we supposed to believe? This is a magic shirt?
Yeah.
But
I never saw him put it on, so maybe it is a magic shirt.
Yeah, could be hypercolour.
Hypercolor Hawaiian shirt. So they get to the island, and I liked the sign gags of, be in a movie with Adam Sandler.
Yeah, that made me laugh, actually.
Swimming lessons with Michael Phelps.
Yeah. And the what was it, Buffet Island, and then just Desert Island, which is
Desert
pretty
Island.
clever Desert Island joke.
Yeah.
But then
It was
they have a
Desert
bit
Island.
where Homer and Bart kill a bunch of dudes.
Oh, I think that was just the playthings of the rich, where they had a full-sized working pirate ship and they shot down a full-sized working other ship.
Yeah, but then he chucks the
Chum.
chum into the. And then
Yeah,
gets
but the
surrounded by
last
sharks.
time that happened,
Yeah,
Homer
Bart just
throws
safely
chums
rows up.
into the water to kill Bart, and Bart gracefully rides the nose of a great white shark from the sea onto the boat, top of the boat. So I presume that's what happened there as well.
No, I think it's fair enough. I will say for an episode that's largely doesn't have too much on wackiness, that is a sudden, much more wacky moment that feels a little bit out of place, but it's fine. It wasn't so bad that I was angry about it.
I was angry about the uke scene, though. That song seemed to go on for ages with their weird faux Jamaican accents.
Before that, we get, it's weird, but before that, we get a strange Homer comes out of the water like Honey Rider out of Dr. No.
Yeah.
Ah, that's the reference.
Yeah, and it's just kind of like, don't know why we're making this reference, but okay. It wasn't terrible. It was just like, don't know why this is here.
They're on a beach. It's perfect.
Yeah. And then,
He's sitting in
sits
a
down-
lazy boy recliner.
Yeah.
He needs to be in a white speedo with a belt and a dagger.
Yeah.
It was weird. I didn't find it super out of place, but
No, it wasn't-
It wasn't funny.
it was
or
just-
anything.
It was like a reference for reference sakes.
Yep. And yeah, the moment where Homer sticks up for Lisa finally felt pretty forced to me as well.
Yeah.
With the whole like panning back between his choices and Lisa looking at it. I don't
I think
know.
at least I even say, well, Dad, looks like you have a choice to make. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
really? We hadn't picked that up already?
Yeah. And especially when it's like, this is when you go, Lisa, you're 8/30 now. You should be able to stand up for yourself against literally your own peers. Like she's
Yeah.
in the same school, in the same grade. It's not like she's being oppressed by, the Fox Corporation or anything, or like an adult. It's just another 8-year-old kid. Lisa's smart enough and forthright enough to go, you know what? I don't like the way you treat me. We're getting the fuck out of here.
Well, it even should have been Homer just saying, give her hell, Lisa, like, instead of him, like,
Yeah.
saying it. Like, that was, him.
He just gives her support, and then she does, stands up for herself. Everybody gets off much better. Instead, it was like, for some reason, Homer has to be the one to make the stand here. I was like, don't know why that is.
And, looks at the turtle that got flipped over by Harper, and he goes, oh, now how you feel? As he's carrying his, dragging his seat and feet recliner away.
Seat 2 feet.
See 2 feet.
Then
Seat
it
to
ends
feet.
ends with the whole Homer doing like a Goodbye Moon parody of all the things on the island. I hated every single bit except the final one, which was Goodbye Bart. Goodbye Bart. Time for the questionnaire. As we said before, storyline wise, it was like an A and a B, but the A gets dropped in the first act, and then the B becomes the focus.
And they join up anyway.
Yeah.
So.
If you could, should, or were to put this episode in a playlist, what would the theme be?
I like that we have options now. Could, should, or would. All right.
I could put it in the Tropical Island playlist.
Mm-hmm.
I should put it in the Homer Gets a New Friend playlist. But I would put it in the I'll Watch This Again playlist.
I was going to put it in the Homer Gets a New Chair playlist. So that gives you like the Frank Grimes ones where you get a new chair, or the one where he wins the first annual Montgomery Burns Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Field of Excellence.
Does he win a chair for that?
Yeah. No, he wins money to buy a chair.
Ah, subtle differences.
Did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah, no one's off point in terms of character.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty close.
They're a little closer to being a little character, like a caricature of themselves. Not full on, but there are points where it's very obvious. Lisa just announces the morality of the situation.
Yeah.
But it's not to a terrible point. It just feels lazy rather than bad.
Yeah, I think it was maybe a bit. There wasn't as much going on as a good Simpsons episode. Like Marge and Bart did nothing.
Yeah.
Maggie was there for one psych gag, catch the baby thing.
Yep. Well, generally, when he talks about feel like it, we're talking about the integrity and if the characters felt like they were being themselves, or if they
I
were
understand now.
Yeah, or if they were drastically changing who they were to fit a stupid plot.
Yeah, I'd agree with. They're not quite caricatures of themselves, but they're edging that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say, character-wise, that they're all pretty on point. It's just overall feeling of the show and, like, the integrity of the show as a whole. I feel like they were doing more of this sort of segmented, sort of lots of choppy scene changes with not a lot of the story holding it together. And I thought there was more meat on some of the on the bones that they left behind, like in the boy band thing and in the chair thing even. Like,
Yeah.
I thought there was, they didn't explore as much as they would have back in the old days.
Yeah, that's very true. There wasn't 50 gags, like 50 Australian gags in that concept.
Yeah.
No one got eaten by a shark, a spider, or a crocodile.
No one's baby got carried away by a dingo.
No one got stung by a stingray.
No, instead they got their heads chopped off and impaled on a unicorn.
Yeah, that was weird. That was either the most homoerotic thing I've ever seen, or just a weird thing.
Yep.
I'd count it as a weird thing. Have you guys seen this one before?
I have not, no.
I have not also.
I've probably seen it once or twice. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of it. And talk about the wackiness. We were just saying before, like, the ship thing was just about it, and the skybox itself was doing some
Yeah,
pretty
the fact
wacky
that it
stuff.
descends on the stage and all that, but it wasn't so
It's not really
like
wacky, though, is it?
yeah, it's not like Awooga kind of wacky.
It wasn't.
Certainly
The skybox wasn't hovering. It was on a mechanical arm. It's something
And
that's.
I just got put down, and then the guys went out the back to the bar.
It's
Yeah.
just one of the things that wouldn't actually happen rather than couldn't. So
Yeah,
you
I don't
would
think.
not have a
Yeah, I'd
skybox
say
get on
on a scale of 0 to 10, this is like 0.5 wacky.
Yeah. Yeah. Only really a couple of wacky bits in the island, and that's it. Heart. Did you guys feel the heart from this episode?
not really. Like it
No.
was there, and I know where I was supposed to feel it. It just didn't quite land.
Yeah, a bit of Homer sticking up for Lisa, but
Yeah, I think it tried to be more daddy-daughter than it was. Like, it kind of pointed in that direction, but there wasn't much emotion to it.
no, it did, like, even with Homer wrapping it all up, did sort of feel like a means to an end, just wrapping up the plot for, in the most wrapping up way possible.
Well, that doesn't really ever feel like there's any kind of stakes. Like maybe you'll offend your rich friend. Okay, then you won't have a rich friend anymore.
Yeah, or if, like, she had Lisa over a barrel and said, oh, I gave you this new bike that you can't get rid of now because you threw away your old bike or something, and so
Yeah.
she has to keep being some stakes. Yeah.
I do like how your stakes are equivalent to that of an 8-year-old child's. Like, I can't. I threw away my old bike. I can't not be friends with my friend now.
Yeah.
But it was like they had an argument and they stopped being friends, but then Homer and the dad still hung out.
Yeah.
And they still went on the island. So even though she did the right thing, she could have just been, yeah, whatever, happy, but friendly in demeanor to her, and then not enjoyed the time on principle, like with the pay TV they got for free.
Yep.
Yeah.
That could have still stayed to that same story. Like they didn't have to make up and then. Yeah, it just
And
seemed-
then
it was a
fight
cheap-
again.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Hallmark version of a Simpsons episode, I think.
Yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
Yeah. I mean, I probably would, but I feel like I've seen it.
Yeah, that's the thing. If it's on, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
too close,
I'm not too keen on this one. I'm going to say no.
That's the thing. I'm not going to avoid it, but if I'm on a flight and it's on the thing, I'll be like, yeah, okay, I've seen it, but it's either this or Two Broke Girls, so I'll just watch this.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only choices they give you in economy.
Yeah, I can't remember if we made this point last time on actual podcast, or if we were just doing it when we were talking. But the good thing about Two Broke Girls is no one cares if you make fun of it.
Yeah.
No one's defending that show.
That's true. I've never heard anyone get upset about Two Broke Girls being dissed.
Yeah, even Big Bang Theory has like hardcore defenders, but
but
Oh, my new favorite thing to do is to tell people that Prince was not a good, talented artist. That gets the most reaction out of anything I've ever
that's
seen
you
in my
just
life.
punching a sleeping bear.
Yeah. There's a lot of closet Prince fans that can't tell you any of his songs, but will defend to the death the right to call him a genius.
Oh, that's it. Especially if they don't know the songs. That's very surprising.
They know the songs that I know, and I'm the guy who doesn't like Prince. So
Yeah.
if they can't also name an extra song on top of
Yep.
Raspberry Beret,
If they don't know what comes after Purple Rain on the album Purple Rain, then
Yeah. I assume it's
Prince.
I assume it's Lilac
he comes
June.
after Purple Rain. Sorry.
I see what you did there. It was gross.
well done.
But I'd debate with you, but yeah, I'm totally the fair weather Prince fan. I've got the greatest hits, and I'm more of a fan of his bass player, Larry Graham. Like,
You would be. You in the bass.
So let's rank this thing. Phil, kick it off for us. We're on our patented 6-point scale, where at the tippity top we have cubic zirconia. Going down the list, we have gold, silver, bronze, participant, or failure. Where is your vote tonight?
You know what? I'm going to give it solid silver, but I'm almost edging gold.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really?
Not quite, but I'm like it's silver with stripes.
Silver with stripes. Well, it still can't get up the top 2 levels. It has to hang out with Bumblebee Man and Mel. How about you, Beach?
I'm at a participant.
Yeah.
I felt it was okay. Nothing. I'm nearly at a bronze, but I'm not quite there to be perfect. It's a high participant for me because it's got some better jokes than some of the other ones I participated. But ultimately, I'm going to forget this one tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, to achieve a basic medal ranking for me, I need to want to watch it again, and that's it. It could have edged to a bronze, but it didn't have that factor. So yeah, it's a participant for me as well.
That's interesting because you were the only one who wouldn't watch it again, whereas I'd be okay with it. But it's so close, but it's not quite there.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be like, oh, it's that one that has thing in it. It's going to be like, oh, it's that one.
Yeah, but it is the one. I'm definitely going to use the line, I've never seen you this unhappy lying down in my near future. So
that is good. Yeah.
Dan, that's a
guys,
point.
please note that's a good one to save for the ladies.
All right. Cool. Well, that about does it for Friend with Benefit, and we are going to go to our Awkward Teens episode called $1 Million Abie.
God,
$1 Million
I'm
Abie.
not looking forward to this already.
Was it Abie or Abie?
I'm not sure. Well, it's in reference to Abe Simpson,
So it'd be Abie, yeah.
But
In cross-reference to $1 Million Baby.
Right? That sounds like right. It's not called $1 Million Babby.
Sometimes I just want to pat your head.
Adorable.
And closest you can in the
Eat the
mic.
mic like a styrofoamy apple.
Eat the mic like a styrofoamy apple. Eat the mic. Nothing right with apple.
Get yourself some Snapple.
It's just apple.
I know.
Yeah. Don't be so crapple.
We just watched season 17, episode 16, $1 Million Abie. $1 Million Abby.
Abie.
Abie. So yeah, this is the one where Homer leads the charge on getting the Springfield to have a football team called the Springfield Meltdowns, and Abe Simpson ruins it, but then redeems himself by becoming the town's favorite matador. Guys, what did you think?
Yeah, no, I'm very much there as well. It's, you know, it started a lot stronger than it ended, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, by the ending, I'm just like, where do we start again?
I did kind of lose track of it for a while.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing lately, is making sure I at least keep track of how the story progresses. This one, again, starts quite well. It starts with the Simpsons just watching TV, and then they'll see some sports center thing.
Yeah, that's another good one. There's a TV joke of Carmen Electra's boobs, and that was whatever. But then it's straight into the plot with the sports center thing.
The new franchise for the NFL coming to a new city.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that works out well. And Homer's like, it should be us, and I'm going to spearhead the charge. And this is a weird thing where we get two jokes from Maggie. One I liked, and one I thought was stupid.
Yeah.
So we got one where she's got one of those, pull the drawstring, goes, the cow goes, moo. Yeah. But it's just called a point and laugh, so it just points at Homer and laughs. And like, okay, that one I liked. But then later on, it's got the other thing where it's got her subtitle at laughing at Homer. It says something like,
the bald mummy will surely fail.
yeah. It's just like,
it was very Japanese for some reason.
Yeah.
It's just, why do it twice, and why do it a second time worse? It just,
Well, yeah, because it's like one of those callbacks to jokes. God, what was the one where the character said, "Don't laugh, it's a serious problem," and they keep laughing or something like that? And
they do that a few times. This is Springfield. One that comes to mind is, we're going to talk about first aid, but I'm not talking about some rock concert. Dead silence. I'm talking about treating serious injuries. Everyone laughs.
yeah. Or Homer telling the kids he wants to own the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
Another one where they continuously laugh at him. But yeah, this one, that fell flat. And then, it cuts to an exterior of their house, and they're doing sort of a joke where there's a bunch of weird sound effects coming out of the basement.
It was one of those ones, okay, it starts off with like a typewriter, and you're like, and then it goes to like a bandsaw, and then goes something else, and switches again. And I thought the thing was going to be cut to home, and he's like, I can only think when I'm playing my sound effects tape or something like that, and it just didn't happen.
Would have made more sense given where the sound effects ended up going with
the spooky children.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit odd. And I think it might have been a homage to Mr. Rogers. There's that slow zoom down from the exterior house to like the basement window with working sound effects. Is definitely from somewhere, but I'm not confident as to where it's from.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was, 15 seconds for a joke that
And
was funny in
It had no
1943.
payoff, yeah.
And some of those references are like, the best jokes are the ones where you don't need to get the reference to get it.
Yeah, it's funny regardless.
Yeah, as
Not-
we found out from previous ones, the ones where you think you get the joke, but then later on you find out it's a reference to something and you get it again. Are like, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but they're the ones that really make it the best show ever.
So at this point we cut into the thing, into the basement, and Marge is coming down. Now you've been out here for 3 weeks, and turns out Homer did a reasonable job.
Yeah, he designed the stadium and got the uniforms. And
I love the stadium
did
name.
anyone get the full title?
the whole
No,
time,
but in its essence, it's Quickie Mart, Costington's, Moe's Tavern, Costington's,
Duff Beer.
Stupid Flanders Park.
Yeah, and then later on when they name it, they actually call
It's
it.
actually called that.
It's a bunch of Springfield businesses called by Stupid Flanders, and they actually call it that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, that gag I really liked. But yeah, it was just, hey, look, Homer actually did a thing, and Marge is like super attracted to it. And then he's like, maybe you should brush your teeth.
That was all. And that's kind of like Homer's big thing was, I'm going to bring this franchise team to this town, and they all laugh at him for an hour
Having
and a
no
half.
follow through, yeah.
And then he builds a thing in the basement, which is impressive, but it's a model of a stadium and a guy in a football uniform.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot
There
more
were a few
campaigning and
football
stuff going on.
uniforms, and
Yeah, well, there are two
Yeah.
cheerleaders in a football.
But
anyway.
I feel like when a NFL franchise is going to decide a city, it's not going to say, have you already designed your uniforms, or do we need to hire someone for you?
Yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be-
that's the thing. That's where LA was different. They just shot a video with Rob Reiner. They didn't have their uniforms ready.
Yeah.
That's going to be the only celebrity call out to Rob Reiner in the history of TV.
They do some in South Park, but they're far less favourable.
You
I'm
haven't
trying to
seen
remember-
that episode?
Yeah, because isn't Rob Reiner, he's the one trying to get smoking banned from movies?
Yeah.
And like,
I don't
if
know.
you have someone smoking it, he wants an immediate R rating.
Fuck you, Rob Reiner.
Yeah, as I was about to say, I don't even smoke, but that's so fucking stupid.
Rob Reiner the appearance was pretty uneven, but I liked the gags where he's going around to the Hollywood stars and replacing names with his name.
Yeah.
On Rob Rowe changes it to Rob Reiner, and on Carl Reiner changes it to Rob Reiner. And
Yeah,
At the same time, like their submission video for LA was a super long gag that wasn't very funny. It was like that must have been like 3 minutes of screen time.
well, because that We Are the World parody just went for ages.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only that. You also had the executives before watching the video, then they watch the video, then you have the executives after the video, and it ends on that weird one where the rich texts and goes, "Now I gotta go tell my great gay grandson I still love him." It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, that
a
was-
weird segue.
set up and hit from nowhere.
No, it was. It was weird. The We Are the World. I like how it was the actors signing off on the lookalikes to portray them in this song. I thought that was funny, but the song itself went on way too long, and they repeat Springfield sucks like 8 times, and Freddy Krueger coming out of the poster, bleh.
And every single song in The Simpsons, apart from See My Vest, is too long. I hate cartoons that do songs. Every time it's like, nope, fast forward.
Oh, there's some early classic ones. Even like their old We Are the World parody for Timmy, the boy who got stuck down the well.
Cut it out.
Monorail.
Oh, that is so self-referential and hilarious.
Yeah, but it's boring. I don't want to see you sing songs with jokes in them. That's what Weird Al Yankovic's for.
Yeah, it's-
Simpsons was making me laugh with my eyes.
What about that episode with Weird Al Yankovic?
Yeah. Like that. See My Vest or nothing.
It's fair. I mean, that is a great song.
Oh, but the Apu song and we
but-
put the spring in Springfield.
But
Oh,
Elliot, please, will you see my vest? Made from real gorilla
that is
chest.
the best.
If
If they were
Sorry, but it is catchy.
Oh, wait. We probably owe someone money now.
Yep.
the panel of people select Springfield, and they've got Milkmania and Down syndrome, and
There was Lenny and Carl's,
Yeah.
half painted red, half painted blue. And he's like, I've got Midtown Mania. And Lenny goes, I've got Down syndrome. Really a joke I did not see coming, and they're the best ones.
Yeah.
Made me laugh a lot.
and it was purple and orange. Sorry to pop that bubble.
Get out.
We're not good at colors. Get over it.
I do sarcasm and hating things. I don't do colors.
That's what we came here for. God, you know there'd be a quiz.
Now, something else I hate. Oh, I didn't hate the bit where they had Grandpa Simpson sitting at home watching 48 minutes rather than 60 minutes, because 48 minutes is the actual amount of time our episode of TV is.
Yeah. I didn't like any of the material with the interview with Snake.
No, it was very...
It might have been good if it was kept down to a couple of seconds, but it did go on a bit too long and was too specific, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very much leading up to this scenario that then leads up to the next thing.
Yeah, where, Grandpa, the football commissioner gets lost because they've all changed the street names to football-related things. And I like, and there's a few good Touchdown Avenue and...
off-season knee surgery.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's something that happens a lot in the game.
It is a lot.
Yes, there we go.
So the football commissioner naturally gets lost because of all these street name changes. So stops in the Simpsons house, of course, because everyone does. Goes to use the bathroom, and I like his line there. What does he say? I need to use your bathroom because obviously I've been crying.
Yeah.
And then that's when he's watching the 48 minutes bits. Snake's detailing what he'd do in a break-in.
Go into a house and pretend I need to use the bathroom or the phone or something.
And so then, he knocks out the football commissioner. Simpson has arrived home and he's got him bound and gagged. And I don't like how the town turns on Abe because it was kind of their fault for the street sign thing.
Also, if the football commissioner is coming to start a new franchise in your town, maybe don't let him drive himself.
Yeah.
Upstairs for thinking, Simpsons. But yeah, that was kind of... It was just a very long-winded way to make Grandpa Matador, all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, we're not even there yet. It's
That's
even
true.
longer.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so that's when this episode does become about... this is the second thing this episode becomes about. Grandpa gets so depressed in this whole thing that he decides to off himself.
Yeah, because that guy at the nursing home was like, hey, talk to this doctor. He'll help you out. He'll help you kill himself.
Yeah, Dr. Ego Yan, I feel like that's meant to be a joke.
Yeah, I was the same way. I'm like, is that... Like, if you say it carefully, does it pronounce something? Or is that... I couldn't figure that out.
Dr. Egoyan.
Egoyan.
Maybe combining the doctor?
Duragon? Is it DR?
Ego Yan.
Wait, who's the famous...
Drego Yan.
Kevorkian. So nothing
Nope.
there.
No, nothing. Also, I entirely forgot that part of the show happened.
Yeah, no, it's a big chunk of nothing, really.
Yeah. So shall I surmise it in the fastest way possible?
Go.
So Grandpa hates himself because everyone hates him, and he tries to go kill himself, but he thinks, I'll wait 24 hours. If the phone rings once, I won't kill myself. And it doesn't. So he goes to kill himself, and in the process of being euthanized, the law's overturned, the cops break in, stop the euthanasia, take the doctor and the death pod away.
Yeah, I liked
dipod.
the dipod.
The dipod, sorry.
I liked there was a little subtle gag there where there were 3 settings on it: slow, painful death, instant death, or mega death.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
did like
something
that.
there for the metal fans.
Yeah, I like that. Made me laugh.
Or the bad music fans.
I thought maybe the first one could have been Killing Me Softly.
Ah.
Make them all music, yeah.
Yeah,
Why not?
there's like a lot of runs there, especially if you're calling it the dipod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 minutes of thinking.
True.
And so Grandpa then wakes up, thinks he's dead, has the best 3 minutes of his life running around Springfield, not caring what people think.
Yeah.
Till he bumps into the family at a restaurant, and they say, "You're not dead. We're not dead." And he's like, "I've been living in fear my whole life. I'm going to stop living in fear and live my life now at 80, whatever he is, 9 something."
Yep.
And so then when he goes on a montage of death-defying things like eating candy.
Yeah.
And
Another short, quick montage with the taffy bit and the skating, and then saying to Jimbo, Kearney, and Dolph, "You're going to fight in a pointless war." But, I mean, during that whole realization, there were a few good bits. Like when he's going down to die, I like the whole, what would you like me to play, and what would you...
What do you want to listen to and watch while you're dying?
Yeah, and it was Glenn Miller Orchestra and cops beating up hippies.
Yeah, that was a joke I liked.
yeah.
And... I hate Wiggum's gag when he does the bust and says, "Look out, Manfred manslaughter, you're going to jail."
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's a lot of bad puns in that second. Well, that like I said, I forgot that story even existed.
yeah.
Yep.
I thought it just went from here to being Grandpa being a matador
No,
because
'cause
he's now
then-
fearless.
After that, we go from... so then he decides he wants to live without fear, and this town does a big meeting about what they're going to do with the stadium now they don't have a football team. So naturally...
Which I was pissed that there should have been at least 2 joke suggestions before the third one. It's
Yeah,
not
I
rule
was-
of threes.
I was ready
straight
for
to
something
bullfights.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
ready
Really
for
weird.
like hot dog rally and hot dog park or something.
Well,
Mascot free for all. That'd be funny.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, what kind of free for all? I'm not into furry stuff.
No fighting.
Okay. Yep. I mean,
The other one's called
furries
anthology.
fighting. Furry fighty fetish club. Damn it.
Just because it alliterates does not mean we do it.
I'm not saying participate. I'm saying host.
And make the money from.
Exactly, man. Furries are loaded with cash.
Are they?
is that true?
I guess they got to afford the costumes. They can't come cheap.
And much like The Simpsons, we ask, how did we get here logically? And yeah, with the stadium, like, I don't like that they didn't at least do some establishing material, because that was some of the problem. They spent so much time on weaker parts of this episode that just establishing a setting time wasn't used effectively.
Yeah, and just you could have
Much
just
like my word sentence then.
yeah, but it's fine. Word sentence.
Sorry.
My new favorite term. God damn, my word sentences are not working.
Yeah, I forgot mine because I'm so busy laughing at word sentences. I was saying something to the effect of it's just this one guy we've never seen before who's like, it'll be a bullfighting ring, and everyone's like, yep.
Yeah, he kind of looked like the guy that was obsessed with patch jackets from Planet Hollywood and Movie World and stuff. It was a specific.
He was wearing a
character.
Planet Hollywood jacket.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, cool. Then it was him. I
it?
don't
'Cause I-
even remember what episode that was.
I was
from.
like, why is he specifically wearing a Planet Hollywood jacket? Like, I thought it was going to be John Travolta or someone, but it turned out to be not
Some
John
guy.
Yeah, the storyline with him in an episode previous was, him and like 4 other old people are obsessed with collecting souvenir jackets from places like Planet Hollywood or Disney World or things like that.
That is not a plot line.
Yeah, and
This is how you start being a furry.
First it was jackets, then it was furry jackets, and well, here we are. At this stadium fiesta. Free for all.
I am in a chimichanga costume. No, wait, what's the tiny little mouse?
Is it a chimichanga like a
Chihuahua?
taco?
No, tiny little mouse.
Chinchilla?
Chinchilla. No, I am in a chinchilla costume.
I feel like you're already in a chimichanga.
You're a chihuahua and a chimichanga.
There's a specific furry fetish, ones that are costumed large food.
Someone's like, you awoken my fetish. I didn't know what I wanted until now. All right, well.
I'm not awakening anything.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was like, don't bring up community in the Simpsons podcast.
Now we bring up lots of stuff. Then they have a bullfighting ring.
Yeah.
Well, Lisa does object in the meeting and says that bullfighting is a cruel pseudo sport, and Homer's like, Lisa's right. Bullfighting is a cool super sport. I was like, okay,
It was dumb, but I laughed.
I'll get that next.
The second time we've got someone mishearing Lisa's Lisa jokes. So, yeah.
Yeah, so then they established the bullfighting stadium.
Yeah, and,
Marge has a bunch of shitty dialogue here.
I don't even remember. I was going to say we glossed over the bit where we said Grandpa naturally volunteers to be the matador.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's the start of the episode.
We're 20 minutes in and the episode has started.
And he's very good at it.
Yeah, for some reason.
Also,
yeah.
this is the bit that shit me. So the main premise of the don't be bullfighting is you're killing beautiful animals in terrible ways with stabby and horses and stuff. Do all the bulls die of exhaustion from running at the cape? Because they like Grandpa Simpson's like goes ole, and the bull runs past like 4 or 5 times. He does it perfectly every time.
Yep.
And then the bull just like looks at him and goes and collapses on the ground like it's tired.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't stab it or he didn't have a saw. It's like,
No, he stabs it with a sword.
but
Only
to kill
after it's passed out. Yeah.
But like that's not how bullfight. The bull doesn't get tired. You don't bullfight the
Yeah,
bull.
there's
until it
even-
Yeah,
lies
I didn't
down.
think that was a thing.
No, there's even, Marge even says, I don't know who's more handsome, that guy or the bull stabber, which is literally the role. He's supposed to be shanking the thing in the back the entire time.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I was like, if you don't make it a grotesque sport that you need your main character to protest,
Yeah.
at least don't have it go, oh, I'm cute and I'm falling down now. You should go, you get stabbed all the way through and it dies anyhow.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
make it bullfighting because that's what it is.
Although in
that's
that
what it
moment
was.
where he does stab the bull, I liked the choices that they made here. Grandpa goes to stab the bull, and then it cuts away to Lisa, whose heart breaks, and the only sound effects there are the crowd cheering, but the only visual is her disappointment. I thought that was just
is
an interesting, good
A
film
taste way to
choice.
do it. Yeah, because for a moment you think, okay, he's going to stab the ground and he's going to be like, this bull's just tired and I'm tired and I'm not so different from this bull and I learned something today. But no, he actually goes for it.
Yeah.
I would have hated if they'd done that though.
Yeah, and I would have hated it too. So for a while I was like, okay, way to go somewhere I wasn't expecting.
And and then after that scene, they sort of do an act break there, and they come back to Grandpa sort of all full of himself in the apartment, and Lisa comes and confronts him, and they had the great back and forth with the "I was always cheering for you, Grandpa," and
That's kind of like my first thought was, he's like, Lisa, don't take this away from me. This is the first time in my life that people have cheered for me. And Lisa goes, I've always been cheering for you, Grandpa. And he should have turned around and gone, well, for that 24 hours where I was waiting to see if I wanted to die or not, you could have called me.
Yeah.
None of this. I was
You knew
always
the whole
cheering
town
for
hated
you.
me.
Yeah. The whole town hated me. You were always cheering for me, but you never bothered to come over or say hello. It was like, you know what? That's just lip service.
Yeah, I would have much preferred it if he got there on his own. Like he had his own revelation rather than... Because it makes Lisa a drag. Okay, it's bullfighting, so it's not something I support, but it makes Lisa the drag again.
Yeah,
Because
of the
the
episode. at least.
whole town is on board.
Yeah. If anyone wants to stop the fun, it's Marge or Lisa.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Marge is too obsessed perving on the bull stabber and the bull stalker or whatever.
Yeah, Marge must have had like 5 lines this episode, I think.
Not
Yeah.
a lot going on there,
I didn't like anything to do with the Spanish announcer.
No.
And I couldn't help but thinking the whole time, he didn't have to be Spanish. Like,
No.
just because it's bullfighting and,
Well, is he the same announcer from the soccer game?
it
Yeah,
seems
that's what I
like that
thought.
was the same
Also, he
character
didn't
model.
have to be an announcer. Like, why bother having one? We can see what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
It's like,
You're not making a joke out of it, apart from the second time where he correctly guessed what was on Grandpa's weighted mind because his granddaughter was disappointed.
The flurry of the cape tells all,
Yeah.
which was close to a good joke, but everything else around it was so boring I didn't care.
Yeah, if you got to think like that's a 2-scene setup to get that one gag in.
But it seemed to like skew more to like doing Spanish related humor where it's not necessarily related, and Springfield do have an established go-to announcer guy as well. Like, I was really on the fence with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like good sign gag for the stadium. It's like, today, bullfighting. Tomorrow, bloody sand sale.
Yeah.
I missed that.
I didn't see that, no.
Oh, no, but our old friend, is it Carl? Who's the phone salesman who always is down his luck?
Gil.
Gil turns up. Oh, sorry, I've jumped ahead.
Oh, no, it's okay. Yeah, at this point, Grandpa has the change of conscience, lets the bulls free, and the bulls take over town. Take it away.
Yep.
I'd say poor old Gil comes out of the dry cleaner. He's got a red suit, and he's like, yes, oh, Gil's back on top, and he's got a shiny red suit. Just as all the bulls come around the corner and trample the shit out of him.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, because like Lisa's got, you're doing a sport where you murder a defenseless animal, and they get released and like hurt a bunch of people.
Yep.
It's like,
And then no one kills them during this time.
yeah, it was like,
Especially not the bullfighter, who that's his job. You could redeem yourself all in one go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fix a problem, silence Lisa's criticism, and save the town.
Yeah, and be a hero and have people, cheer you for once again. That'd be fun.
Or go into the next year, they just have a celebratory running of the bulls rather than a
Yep,
stabbing of
that'd
the
be
bulls.
fun as well.
I did like the joke that they had here with Luigi, and he was walking a creative field, and they all surround him. But they undid it with Luigi rambling about he'll give him a pizza pie, and oh no, they're eating me now.
Yeah,
And
it was
doing his hacky impression.
just the ominous surrounding was enough.
Yeah,
And you
that
didn't
was
need
enough.
this.
You could have stopped. He would have gone, guys, we could talk about this, and then just move away.
Yeah.
Didn't have to try and bribe bulls with pizza.
Yeah,
Or even just like the simple look. Like he's holding the veal,
Yeah.
the bulls are looking at him.
yeah,
he's
just
like,
as a shifty
"Oh."
eyes left, eyes
Yep.
right. The end. That's fine.
And then you can cut to your weird Danny deck chair parody
Yeah,
thing.
which was so because in the end, Grandpa and Lisa just floating on deck chairs for no reason. It's like this wasn't mentioned anywhere in the episode.
Also, they're entirely out of the danger. The people who caused it, both directly and indirectly, are the only two not affected. Until
until the balloons.
two bulls float up next to them with balloons tied to their tails. By whom, I ask?
Yep.
And then
other bulls.
And then they somehow go, uh-oh. And then the assumption is the bulls attack them. But they're all floating in the air via balloons. You don't get traction with your hooves.
No.
Yeah.
And they're attacking the people that wanted them to be free and happy.
That
Yeah.
just goes to show bulls are actually assholes.
Yeah. Hey, it's like Troy McClure says, if a bull ever had the chance, he'd kill you and everyone you care about.
Yep. And that's where the episode ends. They have this
Pointless
post-credits bit of just a cut back to Grandpa in the 40s or 50s or something.
Yeah, ratting
60s,
out
70s.
friends he thought were communists. And it's like,
Yeah.
that was
why are we
weird.
doing this?
And
Like-
not... Like, is that a reference to the other time Abe Simpson fucked a lot of people over.
Yeah,
It's
I
very
thought,
strange.
like, if there'd been a line about, no one's ever cheering for me except for that time I revealed all those commies, and that was at least there'd be a link to it. But it just comes out of nowhere, isn't funny, and does nothing.
And it's over has the credits over the top of it, which makes you think leaving this out wouldn't have cost you anything.
No, not a thing.
And you wouldn't be sitting here going, that was weird and dumb ending of this show.
Yeah.
He mentioned John DiMaggio, who voice of Bender and Jake the dog from Adventure Time.
Did he say John or Joe?
John.
No, he definitely said John.
Yeah, he also said Joseph Stalin. So I'm
Yeah.
like, this doesn't make any sense now.
Oh,
Yeah.
just jumping back, what was with the euthanasia doctor and going, you'll join the other people I've killed, like Socrates and...
No, he didn't kill them. They're famous people who have killed themselves.
Oh, okay.
Like Ernest Hemingway and Hunter S. Thompson and
Oh,
Virginia
okay.
Woolf.
Oh, I missed that.
The original Suicide Squad.
I didn't know that Socrates had killed himself.
No, I didn't know that either, but I'm going to assume the context of the joke tells me.
Well, that's what I think it is.
Anyway, so storyline, each act was a different story. Pretty much.
Well,
Yeah.
they all led us to a story,
Yeah.
but
It followed a
Not in a
sort
way
of
that made
logical
sense.
conclusion, but there was no flow of theme or of anything logical.
Yeah, I mean, they brought the stadium back, which was kind of good, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty much, Act 1, football, Act 2, euthanasia, Act 3.
As we learned from Danny doing nice little synopses, it begins with the Simpsons watching a football program on TV and ends with Abe and Lisa floating in deck chairs while bulls attack the town.
and if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know.
Pardon?
Yeah, that should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, and I think we have everything here. Let's all just walk away.
Good night.
If you were to want to put it in a playlist, what would the theme be?
Lisa ruins everything.
Sports in Springfield are doomed.
Yeah. Abe-centric episodes, but even then, I don't know if it's worthy of a playlist.
Homer against big football.
Yeah.
Like when they're planning to move the isotopes.
I really should move the yes or no, would you watch this episode question again before the playlist one, because yes or no, do you want to watch the episode again?
No.
No.
Did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Felt like a bad episode of The Simpsons.
Yeah, like all the characters are more or less on point. But it's just flow of the jokes and of the story was just so disjointed and blah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I think it's indicative that when you can go, the first 2/3 of the episode had nothing to do with the show, like or the story.
Yeah.
You could have lost that, started at the outbreak. It was like, and Grandpa just goes, I'm a bullfighter. And you'd be like, all right,
Yeah.
that's fine. That makes as much sense as Homer
Anything
going,
else
I'm
about
going to make the new football team come to Springfield. So that way you've got still 2/3 of a show left that you can have Grandpa being a terrible bullfighter.
And
or
you know,
something.
speaking of this sort of story and Grandpa, the episode Grandpa versus Sexual Inadequacy, each of those three acts are sort of their different things, but they're not these big swings like Springfield gets a football team, Grandpa wants to kill himself, Grandpa wants to be a bullfighter.
Yep.
It's just small little things, Grandpa invents a sex tonic. Okay, that kind of sounds weird, but and then it's him and Homer on the road selling it, and then it's Homer and Grandpa have a bad relationship, and
Yeah, but it remains the consistent of Homer and Grandpa throughout.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless they lead into each other. Like it's not. These are three things you could take out, put each one of those segs into almost any other episode.
yeah.
And it would kind of make sense. You're just
Yeah.
like, it's the Grandpa bit doing something.
Yeah,
Also, he didn't have one teeth joke with the bulls. I thought like at some point he'd like try and bite the bull with his teeth in his hand. Or
I thought it would have been way funny if he was a good matador by pure accident. Like the bull charges it, he runs, his teeth fall out, the bull trips on it, and falls down and gets knocked out.
Mr. Beans his way through.
Play count. How many times do you think you've watched this one?
I know I've seen it at least once before because I know that dipod bit.
Yeah.
But I'd had no idea it was even remotely linked to this episode until I saw that part.
Yeah, I think I've seen this at least once before, but many, many years ago.
Yeah, I'd say maybe 5 times for me.
You're a terrible
that.
machine.
Yeah, any jokes that sort of stuck with you over the years, or the Megadeth dipod one for me?
That's literally the only part
Over
of
the
this
years,
entire
I'm
episode
struggling to
I
have
read.
any jokes that's sticking with me since watching it.
Wackiness. Yeah, it was pretty damn
Just
wacky and not to
all
the
of it. Yeah.
and not to the benefit at
Not
all.
to the benefit at all, no.
Yeah, it was like incompetent wacky rather than wacky things going on wacky.
Yeah. Heart. Did you feel the heart?
Nope.
Nope.
I know it's there.
I felt a little bit with Grandpa and Lisa. I thought I thought it was a good thread.
I was
and
too
natural
annoyed
for
at
the
Lisa
characters.
being just the only person in the whole town. that
She
thinks
often
about
is.
it. Yeah, no,
no,
but you think there must be by now. She would have organised a branch of Peter or fucking something. Like just to have her being the only person in the town who's not enjoying the bullfight is like, it just makes her so much more of a killjoy.
Yeah, I mean,
when there's nobody else.
It's not that I agree with bullfighting is a thing, but it just the way it's presented in this makes it so much. Yeah, it makes her feel like a total killjoy. It's like when they get Stampy, and Lisa goes, "You're all forgetting the most important part, where it's wrong to imprison an animal." And this is pausing. Lisa, go to your room.
Yeah.
It's just still gets the protest, but it's and everyone's kind of aware that she's right, but they just get a joke out of it and you move on.
Yeah,
but she's just a total bring down to the episode and to the this is Blair.
Yeah. And yes and no, don't want to watch this episode again. Let's rank it. Okay, kick it off, BT.
I'm gonna stamp this with a failure.
Really?
Yeah, it's just watching it. I'm like, this is maybe a low participant, but the more I talk about it, the more I think it, the more I just dislike it. It's left a very sour taste in my mouth. That could possibly be the beer, but I'm pretty sure it's the episode. I'll give it a slightly higher failure than the average failure. It's not yell at your TV offensive, but it just doesn't work. And the parts that don't work get worse with age.
All right, I will go next and give it a participant. It could have been a bronze, but yeah, and I don't know, maybe if you asked me to rank it at the start of the conversation, it would have been bronze, but you're right, the more we talk about it, the more the flaws become apparent, so yeah, I'm giving it a participant. Phil?
I would say the same thing. I was thinking bronze, and now I just realised it could have been a lot better than it was, rather than just being a not good version of what it was. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go participant. Maybe a shiny participant,
Yeah.
but still duller than bronze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, on our
what that
best
is.
to worst scale, it will even out as a dull participant.
Huzzah.
Which,
Yep.
yeah,
That
actually
feels about right.
Yeah.
Now we are going to go to a good episode.
Huzzah.
Season 3 Special Vocations. And oh my God, I can't believe that we haven't done a Season 3 episode on this podcast since episode 4.
What? How do we even manage that?
It's been 24 episodes.
We've entrusted you to look after these things.
Even by random chance, you should have hit one by now.
Yeah, but that's how the cookie crumbled. And but yeah, now we're going to go to Separate Vocations, which is the one where Bart and Lisa fill out the aptitude test and find out that Bart's destined to become a cop and Lisa's destined to become a homemaker.
Oh, wow. I haven't seen this one in ages.
Yeah, do you remember it, Phil?
Vaguely the homemaker bit, but
They sort of flip their roles at school. Lisa becomes the bad girl, Bart becomes the hall monitor.
Yeah.
yeah, maybe very vaguely. Does
haven't
it feel
seen this
like
in
an
so
episode
long.
of Parker Lewis Can't Lose?
In the
That's
80s, they had weird names for shows.
Yeah.
True.
But I mean, they were right. He couldn't lose
Yeah.
until he got cancelled.
Yeah, and then, then the whole show, not just Parker Lewis lost.
We all lost.
I like to think he was like, no, I didn't lose. You're all losing me.
Yeah.
Can't fire me. I quit.
We are back, and we just watched Season 3, Episode 18, Separate Vocations, aka the one where Bart and Lisa flip roles, and Lisa becomes the rebel, and Bart becomes the...
Hall monitor. Yeah.
Guys, what did you think?
The school is blue, 1 star.
Continuity fail.
Didn't notice the school being blue. I kind of went through a roller coaster on this. I started out, I was like, oh, I remember this from a long time ago. And then I was like, it's not very good. And then I was like, by the end, I was really enjoying it. So, yeah, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long time since I've seen this one, but yeah, I had fond memories and they were all revisited.
But yeah, I quite enjoyed this one. I think a lot of nostalgia was playing into it for me because, like,
Yeah, definitely.
it's kind of hard to be objective as well because this episode is so ingrained into me, and so much of the quotes I just remember, like the exact timbre, the exact delivery of it, like.
Yep. Forgery. So he didn't have leprosy.
And another one, you're earning your 18 grand a year. I'm like, this one probably gave a lot of arseholes in high school and school a lot of ammunition against teachers.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of witty quips to say. I don't know. You.
I don't know if witty quips are the quips you're getting there.
That is pretty witty.
Yeah. So this is one that, again, I think gets into it very quickly, which has been a nice theme throughout these ones, but it actually keeps a consistent storyline throughout. So starts in the school and the students are taking a career aptitude normalization test, or can't.
Yep.
Kent.
But
I think she pronounced it Kent.
can't.
Oh, is it Kent? I
Can't.
thought they were doing a really clever cunt joke.
No, they're doing a really can't joke, as in
Yeah. Well,
you can't.
I made it
That's
funnier.
the career aptitude normalizing test. Yeah, but this is another one that, starts out straight into the episode, the plot, but does have a little gag before we get started. It's, hey kids, got a surprise for you. And the fantasies are like
Of the various students, yeah. So,
crocodile being wrestled by a Native American and...
Pixie handing out ice creams
Yep.
from Sherry and or Terry.
And Bubble being an alien, yeah.
Yeah. But
It's been a long time since I've seen like a dream realization in The Simpsons
Yeah,
where you
in a
see
little
into their
bubble.
thought bubble.
Yeah.
That was big. That was a big flashback for me. I was like, oh crap, I haven't seen that for a long time.
Yeah, that's a very big staple of like comic strips, and they've done it every now and then in The Simpsons, but yeah, certainly changed. It's usually full cutaways these days.
Yeah, and also just the way that kind of played out. There's like, oh, we got a surprise. What do these three kids think the surprise at school is? It's like something ridiculous, something ridiculous, something ridiculous. But it's like, that was a real stop the moment. Here's the joke we're setting up. Pay, and then come back into it. It was, very much an older style of Simpsons writing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And
totally.
Just the way animation does jokes as well. It's something you just haven't seen that for a long time.
Yeah.
But good organic cutaways as well. Like, so there's that one, and then there's the one later where they cut to Police Chief Wiggum, sending the tank into the library, and
It's got the smell of books.
and Marge's flashback as well. Yeah, very organic cutaway gags, and not done in that Family Guy, hacky style of remember that time when
These are all exist within context.
yeah.
So
Yeah, you're not just throwing to a joke you're making up on the spot.
Yep. And so they get the episode started out with great character establishment as well, with the two teachers announcing there's a test, and then Bart and Lisa's different reactions. Bart going, and Lisa going, oh, boy, a test.
and then that moment where she just kind of notices no one else is happy.
Yeah.
And again, doesn't say anything, just a shifty eye moment of, oh.
Yeah, it's nice little subtle bit of animation there. And I love all the questions. The one that Miss Hoover asked, are you a nurse shark, a carpenter ant, or a lawyer bird?
Let us take the test for you.
Yep. When Krabubble's complaining and she compares being a teacher to a glorified babysitter, like...
Yeah, there was a bit of a quiet rant where the husband runs away with the child sitter or something, or babysitter.
Marriage counselor.
Marriage counselor,
Even
even
worse.
better. Yeah, the only thing worse is the divorce lawyer.
Yeah.
Oh, and I like a good procedural gag where they, come in securely, acquire the test, lock them up, put them in a locked van, fly them in like a private jet to a specific location, and it's just needs that dun 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 dun
They had some really good music over this montage. The dun 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 dun. It was like real marchy sort of.
Yeah,
they
they're
really
very
pay
official. This is the most important test you'll ever take in your life, kind of thing.
So even though the million times I've seen this episode, I don't actually get the gag where the machine jams. Like, is it jamming because it's Bart? Like,
It's
I think must be Bart's answers are so poor that it fails.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense because there's a multiple choice thing. So how could he get them so bad that the machine?
And then it's sort of undercut by the fact that he does get offered.
They
it's assumed that he'll be a policeman.
they land a very normal job for him despite the machines. It doesn't quite land. I mean, I do like the guidance counselor going, up until now I had you pegged as a drifter.
Yeah. And again, another very organic drifter fantasy.
Yeah, and again,
But going back to the machine, I've still got that guy with the broom and come on, Emma. Like,
yeah, I think that feels like a real 80s type of gag where it's like, someone goes in and they're so against the norm that whatever the machinery is falls apart.
Yeah.
It just seems like an old magazine type of...
Yeah. It feels like...
Or a cracked magazine.
It feels like if this was a new episode, that would have had... Like, if this was Simpsons' heyday being the biggest thing, Bart being the, rebel, and Ikarama not being such a played-out thing, then maybe it would have landed a bit better then. It's just dated, maybe.
Yeah. It's a bit weird. But yeah, the drift of fantasy, and so this is when like the A and the B stories really kick off, and Bart gets told he'll be a policeman, and Lisa gets told she'll be a housemaker, and
And Ralph gets told that he'll be a salmon gupper.
so great. And yeah, this is where they still hadn't like made Ralph like as dumb as he
Full
is.
dumb,
yeah.
So yeah, salmon gutter.
Yeah.
Like
It's
he
just-
gets why that's offensive.
It's powerfully disappointing.
Yeah. Or systems analyst.
A systems analyst.
Oh right.
Yeah. They do like when they're sitting around talking about it, and Lisa's upset that she's only got homemaker. And then what was it? Bart's talking about being he's like, I'm going to be a police officer. Homer has the line of, no, the army said I was too heavy. The police said I was too dumb.
Yeah. Like, which is funny for both of them.
Yeah. And I do really like isn't anyone going to follow in my footsteps? And just really long pause, but it was.
Yeah, super long pause. And then almost another really long pause after like you thought it was going to stop.
Yeah, and then the coyote. And yeah, Lisa reaffirms no, she's going to be a jazz musician. She's going to be popular with the French and have torrid love affairs, but avoid the horrors of drugs and may or may not die early. So
I haven't
anyway,
decided yet. I do like that whole spiel that she's got her blues career figured out.
yeah, and it is very typical blues career
Yeah.
as well. And then they go to Little Ludwig's to get an opinion from a dude who works in a music store.
I guess.
Yeah, I
he
suppose
seems
it's
to know
the-
what he's talking about.
The high point of like music aficionado is not the record store that she usually goes to, but it's like Little Ludwig's. It's the upmarket borders or whatever.
But
it
I
is.
do love that that guy's lines.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see what you got. Well, do you think my daughter will ever be a musician? Oh, Lord, no.
Yeah. And then she's just, I'll practice every day.
It's like, Lisa, let me be frank. And by frank, I mean devastating.
Yeah, that was great. You have what's known as stubby finger syndrome.
Yeah. And, word to the wise, if you want to be a musician and you got stubby fingers, hey, personally, I'm here to tell you, bass.
I've heard that. As a man who's tried to play guitar and has stubby fingers, it did not go well.
That's why you need a bass, my friend.
Maybe
Bass.
I do. Actually, I was talking to someone once who was in a band. I'm like, man, I always wanted to be in a band, but I can't play any instruments. My fingers are too stubby. And he's like, that's why I play bass. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
Just
So-
4 strings and not 6.
Yep. So yeah, this is where the A and B story separate. Lisa, the jazz shop, and then the cops pick up Bart for a ride along.
Yeah.
And this is the one thing I love about this episode. From here on in, it's just sort of bouncing really nicely between the two stories.
And you get a nice balance of, how they're each dealing with it. Bart suddenly up, Lisa trying to find a new identity in rebellion.
Yep.
During Bart's drive-through, there are some really good license plate jokes. So they drive past a sleazy motel, and the cop's like, you know whose Cadillac that is? That's Mayor Quimby, and his license plate is I Rule You.
Oh really? I didn't notice that.
I don't even know who saw that.
And then later on, Snake's license plate of ex-con is... I wish I'd grabbed the whole thing, but they're reading it out phonetically. But
Yeah.
it's
I got eggplant, Xerxes.
Yeah.
Overbite, Narwhal.
Yeah. Oh, what was C? Oh, I can't remember.
I do like the
Driving a red car.
red car. I do like when Bart goes, so are there any benefits for being a cop? And they go, oh yeah, park wherever you want.
Yeah.
Run red lights, hot and cold running women.
When you go home at night, you know you made a difference. And they cut in with the A story at this point and have Lisa writing in her journal and say, last entry because, this...
You were a journal of my hopes and dreams, and now I have none. And it's like literally a 5-second scene, but it gives you everything you need to know about what that character's doing.
Yep. And reaffirms the two stories and shows the two transitions happening simultaneously really effectively.
Yeah,
I really admire the way those episodes bounce between the stories.
Absolutely. And then you've got, the police start chasing after Snake, and you've got some great little cliched chase scenes, like they swerve and a guy has to swerve to miss them, and he crashes into a milk truck and it catches fire.
Exploding. milk
They
trucks.
just drive through a bunch of empty boxes and like, goddamn boxes.
Yeah. There's a lot of good stuff in that, actually.
Yeah.
Even the bit where like they corner him and they're like, kid, this is against every regulation in the book, but will you cover us? And they give him a gun.
But
Yeah.
everything about this bit, there's a different shading and animation going on, and the
Yeah,
music's very, if it's not a direct reference, it's such, cop music.
I don't know if it's a direct reference or just an amalgamation of every cop show ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. But it works so well, yeah, and it has the whole to be continued.
Oh, it's so fantastic.
Death
and then they come
drives a stick.
Yeah, they come back from the act and do something very un-Simpsons. It's Act 2, Death drives a stick, and comes out from the still image. Such an interesting choice. Like,
Yeah, well, they were riding hard on cop parody, weren't they?
yeah.
And I'm
Rather
assuming
than-
that comes from, like, I don't know,
Wait, this
Dragnet
was
or something.
season what?
3, so we're talking like 91, 92
Yeah,
here.
so they don't really have their own thing, so they're just parodying something
Yeah.
they're making fun of rather than
Yeah.
being The Simpsons, I suppose.
And I imagine that at this time it was just full of those like cop TV shows on reruns,
Oh, yeah, for
Columbo
sure.
and Chips and
Yeah,
all that
homicide,
sort of shit.
life on the streets.
Yeah. I noticed how much Snake was bloodied here. I thought it was really like it looked cool, but it was like ooh.
Yeah, it was a lot, but it kind of fit in with the whole cop show.
Yeah. Oh, and then Wiggum making him an honorary police officer. Eddie, give him your badge.
Hey.
Yeah.
I do like
So-
Wiggin comes in and pulls a bunch of lotto tickets that Snake had stolen out of the car, and he goes, "Looks like you just won the lottery to jail." And he's
Yeah.
like, "He's unconscious, chief." He's like, "He can still hear me."
They
is-
can
yeah.
still hear things.
I love that because that's the end of like every cop's anything. Oh, like world's wildest police chases always ends in
Yeah.
this guy thought he'd get away. The only getaway he's getting is a 10-month stay in jail.
He bought a lottery ticket, but what he scratched off was a sentence.
Yeah.
To prison.
To jail. That guy's awesome.
Is
John,
it-
what's his name?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a great challenge to try and end any sentence with in jail.
Yeah.
Try it, kids at home.
My sentences always end with a period, like you'll be doing in,
In
jail.
jail. Nice.
And going back to the A story, Marge showing Lisa how fun it can be to be a homemaker when you can make a bacon egg toast smiley.
And then
And-
run in, eat it all.
And after that, I sort of got the the song from Parks and Recreation at Jerry's Family, eggs, bacon, and toast. Start your day the Gurgitch way with eggs, bacon, and
toast.
God damn it. Now I've got that song in my head.
So we go back to the B story where Bart does a bunch of cop things and he takes Maggie's fingerprints, who of course walks them on the carpet, and Marge with the photo evidence of the cake.
Of Homer eating the cake.
And then of Bart's butt, it's like, oh, how'd that get in there?
Yeah, but I just love how like Homer's climbing on the table as he's just decimating this cake.
Puts his whole
all
body
done
into
in
eating it.
Polaroid, just 5-frame animation. It's excellent.
Yeah, it's good. It's nice. Like, that's a good way of doing it, is like showing him kind of picking up the policing interest while at home.
Yeah.
Rather than being forced into like a police cadetship or being
or
Boy Scout.
jumping straight to hall monitor even. It gives you a bit of
Yeah.
a warm up to that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good. And I even found like the Skinner offering him the hall monitor position was kind of organic, because it wasn't just, well, now you've been in the cops, you can control the streets. It was
Well,
like-
yeah, that's it, and that's like comes after this next bit where Skinner's praising the Puma, and then Lisa gives the bad girls the idea to egg it, and then it gets egged, and then he's like, "No, Goodnick's run this school," and then Willie's getting arrested from Bart's tip.
Yeah. That was weird. At first I thought, because I'd forgotten about this episode, I thought that Willie was being wrongly arrested for egging the Puma.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
But it just turns out he was burning leaves without a license.
Permit. Yep. With no respect for our clean air laws.
Yeah, and I made you pause and go back on this one because the scene while Eddie and Lou are arresting Willie, like, the animation is just so fucked up and they look really
Yeah,
weird.
their faces are
Yeah.
just so all over the place. It's hilarious.
Yeah, one of them looks like he's got the world's biggest underbite and he's eating his nose.
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's very strange.
Yeah, so yeah, do a freeze frame if you can and load it to Simpsons screens. I'm sure not going to do that myself.
Nope, we're lazy.
Yeah, and so that's, when Skinner makes Bart the hall monitor.
We
And
get a
you get to wear a sash.
I do like that was the cinching deal. It's like,
Yeah.
be a narc, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, because he had that court fantasy as well, that courtroom fantasy.
where his voice is dubbed over to sound like
Steve Allen.
Steve Allen.
Who was the guest star in this episode.
I just
Whoever
like
he
the-
was.
And it's, hi, caramba.
Yeah.
Yep, I do quickly like, we do briefly cut back to Lisa and they're praising her for the idea of trashing the Puma. And they give her a Laramie Jr.
Yeah. This
Like-
scene was actually cut from syndication, I think. 'cause-
Really? Because
yeah,
of that
The
scene?
smoking.
Yeah. Like,
That's-
but not
Damn
the
you,
other
Rob
one.
Reiner.
Yeah. But not the other one. I always remember the other one from back in the day, but not the second one where they actually offer her the cigarette and she takes it.
Yeah, because there's girls smoking in the bathroom.
Yeah.
They offer a cigarette. And then the teacher's lounge is everyone smoking.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of indoor... I actually wrote that down. There's a lot of indoor smoking in this, which shows you the age of the show.
Yeah,
I don't know. In primary school, I seem to remember there being smoking in the teacher's lounge. Definitely not in high school, but...
Why were you in the teacher's lounge? That was for teachers.
You walk past it. There's open windows.
You bum a cigarette. It's all good.
Yeah, I'm just going to quickly bring up as well before that. There was another moment where Janie says to Lisa before she walks in the bad girl's bathroom, "Do you want to quiz me on the vowels?" I never understood this line as a kid, and I always thought, is she saying, "Do you want to kiss me on the balls?"
Secrets about Janie.
Yeah.
But yeah, she does say vowels really weirdly. Like,
Yeah, it's a quick line as well. "Do you want to quiz me on the vowels?"
And also, that's going to be the shortest quiz in the world.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like,
Today, A. Tomorrow, U.
And Ralph eats glue, which I just wrote, Ralph!
Yeah, just Ralph stuff.
No,
Early Ralph lines.
Oh, God. I wrote down Pink Belly because this fucking song.
No, we have a great little crime montage, which ends in the
Yep.
pink belly, pink. But you've got the forging of the doctor's note. So damn, he didn't have leprosy.
Yeah.
Or what else we got in there?
But, that pink belly, man. Fucking. Sorry, I'm the younger brother of two older brothers, so I got my share of pink bellies with that song being chanted
Yeah,
over
and
my
you
head.
get held down and have the spit like dangled towards your face and then drawn
They didn't do that one too much,
okay.
but
He
it was
did.
mostly... Oh, you're a bastard.
like once.
I only did it once just to see if it was something you could do. Turns out you can.
More
But it
effective.
needs a lot of cooperation from the person lying on the ground. If they're in any way fighting back,
It's a lot of
you
trouble.
can't- Yeah, it's tough to do.
But I used to get the typewriter a lot. Fucking
I don't
typewriter.
even know what that
Ting.
is.
Yep. Yeah, the ting was when they'd squeeze my nipples.
Ah. Let's not forget, there'll be no more making fun of your name, Mr. Glasscock.
Yeah.
Was it Glasscock? I wrote down Blastcock.
No glass.
I heard
Is it glass?
Glasscock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, Blastcock.
Sorry, just jumping back a couple of steps. In amongst it all, there's sort of like you sort of see like a C storyline emerge with like how these actions are affecting other people, and you see Marge and Homer in bed talking about it, and then cuts back to Lisa with the "what have you got?"
Yeah. I'm assuming that's a Rebel Without a Cause reference. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, neither have I. So yeah, Millhouse with sure we have order, but at what price?
Yep. Classic.
That seems like some excerpt from a sci-fi movie, maybe.
Yeah, it's
This-
very 1984-ish,
Yeah.
maybe. Who
No,
knows?
this episode is very referencey, I feel like, and especially this is where the episode starts winding up, where Lisa, goes full out and steals all the teachers' editions from all the teachers, and then Bart and Skinner start searching for him, and
We've got a good line of
and it does a little Bart Simpson style Batman 60s Batman bit.
Before that, you've got the conduct a school-wide locker search. The Supreme Court wouldn't allow us to do that. Supreme Court, what have they done for us lately?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, with Mr. Glasgow, I'm leaving the teaching profession, and he goes, "Oh, Mr. Glasgow, please consider." Nuh-uh.
I do like when Skinner puts Bart on the case of the missing books, and he's like, "The police have had no clues," and then it cuts to Chief Wiggum going,
Yeah.
"The dogs have led us here, boys," and is out the
You got
front
the
of
smell of books.
out of the front of the state library, and is like, "Send in the battering ram," and just a tank rolls up the steps.
Yeah. Douche, douche, douche.
Made me laugh. I like that.
Yeah, I do like it.
Oh, and then when they're so they go through a random locker search by searching every single locker in the school to either like the 48 Hours movie music or a very clever sound alike to that.
I thought it was Beverly Hills Cop.
Oh, is it Beverly Hills Cop?
Do,
I both go
do,
get
do,
those
do,
confused.
But yeah, and it does the animation looping 3 times, but it looks really good, and they
It
do
works,
like
yeah.
some really cool cuts between
Yeah.
Bart and Skinner.
Oh, and the
lockers.
locker opening and closing is in syncopation with like the bass and the
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
all like it's fun to
It's
watch.
very stylized. You get the intensity of slowly getting closer to Lisa's locker, and yeah, it's a good.
Yeah,
moment.
and as it gets closer and closer to them nearing in on Lisa, the cuts get quicker and quicker as well.
Yeah, that's good. I thought it was really well done.
And I just love the line when he finds all the books, like, answers. Bart, you just saved this school $120.
Even by 90s standards, that
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of money.
So Bart takes a rap for Lisa because he's everyone expects him to, and he says to her, "You've got your whole life. You've got the brains and the smarts."
Yeah, I really like. He says, "You got the brains and the talent to go as far as you want to go, and when you do, I'll be right there to borrow money."
Yeah.
So it's got all that heart, but then hits it right with a joke. I really like that a bit.
Yeah, that was cool.
And then finishes out with Lisa practicing the sax outside of where Bart's doing the chalkboard gag
500
again.
days detention.
No. But yeah, it's a really good bit because she did like ceremoniously quit the band earlier in this episode, and
Yeah, it's a nice way to say she's gone back to the sax.
Yeah.
Because he's had that faith in her.
oh yeah, and just sorry, jumping back to where Lisa did quit the band, and it had that weird Marge flashback. What'd you guys think of that?
Yeah, where she like remembers wanting to be an astronaut as a child, and Patty
Yeah.
and Selma tell her there are no female astronauts. It wasn't funny.
Well, that's okay. Other than the fact that it was a flashback, it does feel like a very mum lesson of, well, when I was a girl, I believed this, but my sisters were wrong, but I was wrong about, it.
So anyone can be wrong.
Yeah. Maybe it didn't. I suppose it needed to be a cutback so you get the quick. She's putting on the oatmeal box and she's like, "Guess what I want to be?" And they're like the girl on the oatmeal box.
Yeah.
It made it better than just being, a story she told. Yeah, you could have left it out, but it's not.
If you compare it with
bad.
the time that she told them about when she saved up for the Easy Bakelite oven, and
Yeah.
before she worked for it and saved up money, it made all the muffins.
that one had a moral.
It had a morality to it, whereas this one did, but it was also like when you come back and she's like, "See, so anyone can be wrong. I was wrong about the cities on the moon, so yeah, everyone can be wrong." It just got a bit hackneyed towards the
a
end.
little bit more muddled in terms of its message.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it was just trying to establish like Lisa resenting Marge a bit for being a homemaker and thinking and trying to glorify it. So I guess it's just trying to divide them a bit. But yeah, it was a bit long-winded.
Yeah, I was more impressed that 6-year-old Marge made a complete cardboard replica of Apollo, presumably 13 to 18.
I guess you could say that scene serves to show that no one's really connecting with Lisa anymore, and at the very end you get Bart making that connection when he makes the sacrifice. So even Marge, who would be normally the one to, guide Lisa through life, even she can't reach her at this point.
Which is a really smart choice because like Bart and Lisa didn't really have any interaction in this episode. They were in their own separate worlds, but when the chips were down, Bart knew what to do, stood up for his sister.
And there wasn't any of that moment where it's like, you know what you have to do to be, which choice you have to make to be a good person, even if it's the choice that you have to make that will hurt you personally. Like there's none of that, Carl from South Park. Well, today I've learned that moment, like even in the episode we watched before about the bullfighting the first episode where Lisa's like, "Looks like you have a choice to make, Dad." Like that moment wasn't there. It was just Bart went, "It was me."
He just did it. There was no stop for it.
It was like Lisa wasn't going, "You should do this because."
Yeah.
At least she came up to him afterwards and went, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah,
and then he can say
he got to it by himself,
Yeah.
and I think that's stronger for the character.
And I'd like to think he realized that he'd get off lighter due to his not only his past what do you call it,
His recent
misbehavior,
hall monitoring.
and then his recent hall monitoring, like that would factor in, whereas Lisa sort of just always is going to slip under the radar, so something like this would stand out and lead to expulsion. Like it was just smart on their choice, but like not beyond Bart's intelligence. I didn't feel.
Yeah. I figured he did it because he would just do the time easier than Lisa would.
Yeah.
That
At the end,
too.
his skin is like 300 days and it's like, I can do that standing on my head. 400. Yeah, what else you got?
Yeah, whereas Lisa's like
600
detention
Maybe
on my
I'll
permanent
shut my
record.
mouth.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. It makes me think of that time they break into the school records and Milhouse finds his permanent record and tears it up and it like forms back together and goes back into the shelf.
Files itself again. All right. Well, I think it's time for the questionnaire. So, storyline wise, it was an A and a B, and then they had bits of C storyline where other characters were talking about.
Feel more
them.
it's a reaction than a storyline.
Yeah. Well, I just thought it was really good writing that, like, even when they diverted to something else, they were just reinforcing the two stories.
It's like, we have one kid that's up and one kid that's down. Why can't they both be even?
Yeah.
We have 3 kids, Homer. Marge, the dog doesn't count.
And he's like, Maggie. And he's like, oh, yeah. There wasn't a bit like Maggie and then Paul to reveal Maggie crying
Yeah, or
Because,
anything like that.
You know, now Simpsons would try and pull another gag out of that.
Yeah.
Or the dog sitting in the high chair
Yeah.
or something else.
But
Yeah,
I think it's
Maggie
fine.
pulling bongs in her cot or something.
Don't know if they go there, but who knows? But I do like just the condescending, Marge, the dog doesn't count,
Yeah.
in that condescending tone. Yeah, it delivers it so well.
Yeah, so if you were to put this episode in a playlist, what would the theme be?
I would put it in secret room in the school that's full of weapons.
Oh, how do we forget that bit? The fake derriere and the copies of Mad, Cracked
and
magazine.
Crazy.
And crazy.
Oh,
And
well.
2 different bags marked evidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, you be careful with that crossbow.
Mm.
I will.
He's already loading it. Like, yeah, awesome. Other themes for this episode. Yeah, just, I don't know, schoolyard tales or...
I mean,
Yeah.
heavily a brother-sister episode.
Yeah.
So put this with like the hockey episode and a couple others.
Yeah, when they go to the 3rd grade together as well.
Yeah.
Bart and Lisa in school.
Well, in the learn to fart state.
Haven't seen that one?
Nope.
That's a
No
good
idea
one.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, one of
alright.
the rare bright moments in season 15.
All right. I look forward to it. In 12 years' time.
When we cover it on episode... Anyway, did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Most definitely.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's not as Simpson-y as The Simpsons get, but I think that's because it's such a new show so far.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
season
they're still
3.
finding out who they are.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's definitely this is the show that made it what it is now,
Absolutely.
or at least what it was when it was good.
Yeah. And yeah, just really just stellar writing, and the characters just reinforcing how unusual it is that they're taking these paths right now. And yeah, even though, the characters aren't technically being themselves, like they're going against their personalities in a very natural
Yeah,
way.
because that's the point of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's a reason why they're defying themselves, their usual characters.
Yeah. And yeah, they establish who they are well into the episode. And, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's really good. Really, really good.
Really?
Yeah. And there were no sudden turns, like Bart didn't become a hall monitor the scene after he discovered he could be a police officer.
We warmed to it and we got there.
Lisa didn't become the terror of the school 2 minutes afterwards. It, like, there were steps up and down to both those points.
Yeah, and as you say, Bart didn't get the results that he's going to be a police officer, and now I'm going to be a hall monitor now on my path to being a police officer later in life.
You had to get the taste for it and then do some home surveillance.
And Lisa had to get the taste for rebelling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it worked really well. It was really a clean, straight story. Like there was no, I don't think there was anything wasted in this. There was no scene that you could take out that wouldn't make it lesser.
Play count. How many times do you think you've watched this one?
Jeez, 40?
Yeah, I reckon this has got to be between 10 and 20.
Yeah, 1,100 for me.
Yeah.
No, I'd actually say easy 100. I remember this one in syndication back in the day, and used to VHS tape that shit, and remember all the Channel 10 logo spinning on it. It actually kind of the episode looks weird without those little
Without the watermark.
yeah.
Way to brand our memories, Channel 10.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you have any memories of how quotable moments that have stuck with you through the years? Has this episode affected your day-to-day life at all?
No, I think this is even almost too new of a Simpsons to really have like character quotes, because there's funny things that people say, but there's not the funny type of thing a character would say. Like you kind of got there a little bit with Ralph eating his paste. But it's not, you're right, it's not Ralph the whole way through.
It's not Ralph, I bent my Wookiee, or Ralph, sleep, that's where I become an up Viking.
Yeah, it's just like he's eating his paste because some kids do. So I don't think there's anything really that I pull out of there that that I can remember quoting other than just going, this is a funny line. But certainly nothing in there that would occur in everyday Simpsons-ness.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm much the same way. There's a lot of good lines out of it, but I don't think... If someone had quoted one to me, I might have even missed it. Like if someone had said yesterday, let me be frank. By frank, I mean devastating.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite line out of this episode, but I wouldn't have remembered it.
Yeah, like I said at the start, there's just a lot of this episode, which I think it's just because I've seen it a lot of the quotes I'm just like remembering from mass repetition. But I gotta say, I think certainly Pink Belly's affected my life. Any jokes that flew over your head?
I'm pretty sure I never noticed I Rule You before, or that Xerxes Overbite Narwhal is a hilariously awkward way to have phonetic alphabet.
Yep.
Other than that...
I had one time, a long time ago, I used to do tech support for an internet company, and some guy tried to tell me what his username was and spell it out in phonetic alphabet that he made up. And the best one, I can't remember anything else he said, but for you, he used upside down. I was just like, fucking well played.
Yeah, well, I mean, the word doesn't, rhyme with anything as a whole, so yeah, that's a good point. You really wouldn't get that confused with much.
No, it's like you for upside down. Yep, gotcha.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't think I noticed Mr. Glasscock in the very early viewings, but it does stick out to me as a bit, so I definitely noticed it later on. But only on this viewing, not so much.
Yeah, and I'm sure the first time I wouldn't have realized Laramie Jr.'s was a, cigarette brand for children.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm sure I hadn't actually seen that scene until I got the DVDs, like in about 2003.
Channel 10 cut weird things from syndication for a long time, so...
Yeah, the Itchy and Scratchy movie episode is like only 20 minutes long in the syndication edit.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff cut out.
Oh, so much got cut out of it. Because, and you watch it back and you're like, well, that is pretty violent, but, no worse than you see on your cop dramas.
Well, and it's still a PG-rated show that came from the States.
Yeah.
The States still blur people giving the finger to each other on TV.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll show... unfortunately, if you watch Embarrassing Bodies, they'll show you a diseased arsehole with slow motion replays. But someone gives you
full HD.
Someone gives you the finger at the same time. Blur that out.
Yeah.
I don't understand what you're doing. That was enough.
So the wackiness in this episode, the wackiness just came from that police cop scene, and I guess some of the hall monitor stuff.
More on the fringes of things. Is not really
the
cool.
Pink Belly's a bit wacky.
But invading a library with a tank.
Yeah, that's true.
But again, that's not a plot point or a main character even doing that, so it's all just kind of fringe.
Yeah, there's little bits, but nothing huge.
And it's all inherent to the story. It's organic. It works. So yeah, I'd say it's only there to 25%, but it's totally to the benefit.
Yeah, it's only there a little bit, and it's to boost everything else.
Yeah, and the heart, not much peppered throughout the episode, but that moment at the end, that kills me. That is so beautiful.
Yeah, and I really like that it's then undercut by the joke. You got the brains and talent to do whatever you want in this world, and when you do, I'll be there to borrow money.
But yeah, that's just so Bart, and that's where he's heading in the future. And
yeah, we've seen the future. Hover bus or regular bus?
Yeah.
Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, thank you very much.
Well, that's eventually. He still has to,
He gets there.
So, yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
For sure.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yes, I would. Let's rank it. Man, this is hard for me.
It is.
I really don't know where I'm leaning.
It's a really good one plot-wise. Not as heavy on the jokes. And it doesn't feel as essential because I haven't seen this in so long.
Yeah.
I know,
Take
but
into the age of it, though. I think I'll start off so give you guys some place to go. I'm going to give it gold because it's very cleanly written, gets to the point. All the stories tie in and out of each other several times. There are funny jokes in there that are still funny now, 20 years later. It's not as wacky as the stuff. It doesn't feel the golden era Simpsons because it's not. It's year 3. I think, I stand by what I said before, and this is one of the episodes that would have made it the 30 season running show that it became.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's building a solid foundation for which you then get the amazing episodes from. I'm at a gold as well. It's, like I said, it's almost forgettable in the sense that I haven't even thought about this one for so many years, but it's still really solidly written. A lot more of the heart and story coming through than the jokes, but it works really well, and it's still really funny. So, I'm happy to give that a gold. It is shy of the cubic, but many things are. It's still a damn good episode.
Yeah, I want to say cubic because I know it'll average out into a shiny gold, but that's not actually, I don't think
heart,
it's
man.
my heart, I want to say cubic because there's so much theoretically to like about this episode, the way the story unfolds and everything, but yeah, you're right, it is lighter on the jokes, and it is more of a character piece. There are some really cool moments in it, but yeah, little low on the quotability. Yeah, gold is where...
Gold is still a very good ranking.
It is. Anyway, yeah, unanimous gold from this panel for separate vocations, and yeah, that has been the Simpsons Index episode 25. Who are you?
Are we only at 25? I thought we were past that. Didn't you just post 28? Yeah.
And this has been the Simpsons Index 29. Would you guys like to plug anything?
Yeah, you can watch our romantic comedy web series, Dave Plus One. You can check it out on daveplusone.com or hit us up on Twitter at _Dave Plus One. If you like laughing and webisodes, you'll love Dave.
And romance.
And romance.
And cameos by myself and Elliot J. O'Neill. Who are we? You tell us.
Find out what these voices look like and then be confused.
Yeah, so that's been Phil and BT, and I've been your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. I'm not tapping out.
Neither should you.
Isn't that you tapping out, though? Isn't the irony of I'm not tapping out the thing you say when you turn off and tap out?
Well, you then do tap spacebar. So.
Thank you for checking out the Simpsons Index podcast. Don't forget to go to www.thesimpsonsindex.com for the spreadsheet and information about upcoming episodes.
Yep. Eat the mic like a styrofoamy apple.
Ivan Etniage. 60s Batman bit.
Get yourself some Snapple. Sorry, but it is catchy. Gonna take a while because he has to look up two things. Sorry, but it is catchy.
60s Batman bit. Ivan Etniage.
Never mind. Gonna take a while because he has to look up two things.
So crapple.
Eat the mic. Like a styrofoam. The previous one.
You know the song from Parks and Recreation at Jerry's Family? Eggs, bacon, and toast. Start your day the Gurgitch way with eggs, bacon, and
crapple. Oh, I've got that song in my head.
Ivan Etniage.
God damn it. No, I've got that song.
Eat the mic like a styrofoamy apple. And toast. Gonna take a while because he has to look up two things. The Gurgitch way with eggs, bacon, and toast. And the previous one?
It's just apple. God damn it. No, I've got that song in my head.